are watching 32 teams in 32 days on the Game Time Sports Network.
It's a great day, sports world. Second team in the AFC West. The Los Angeles Chargers. This team was 11-6 in 2025. They made the playoffs, but like the other two previous times they made the playoffs, a bad performance. Amon, how you doing today, brother? We got another team we getting into. Of the teams that we don't like. So showing them a little grace today, man. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. Let me tell you something. I ain't showing nobody in the AFC West no grace. No grace. The only time you gonna see grace is probably next episode or two. Right now, ain't no grace coming from the Broncos or the Chargers. By the way, just to brighten your day, Mr. Patterson, you got two receivers now limping. You got Marvin Mims limping, and you got Jalen Waddle limping out there. Oh boy, we ain't got the week one in the preseason yet, brother man.
It's
It
it's gonna, it's gonna be
it
a
ain't
long season.
it ain't looking good right now for the home team, but it's preseason. That's health as well. So we can keep it up for your sake that those young men can get healthy here come week one.
And I know we're putting the spotlight on the Chargers, but Cortland Sutton was kind of involved in some trade talks. I think it's more of rumors. But there's been a little speculation around camp and whatnot. He was being a good soldier. So I don't know what's up with that. I think now that we got these two guys limping around, I think that's going to be put to bed right now, at least for the foreseeable future right now.
Yeah, man. I didn't hear. I haven't heard anything about it. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I know they've been wanting to like toss them around and trade. Trade talks like the last two off seasons, but that's interesting.
yeah, for like the last 2 or 3 practices, like even they hate they call it load management. So when things happen like that, they trying to push them all to the side, preserve them for the next team. But I don't know. That could be nothing. But we're here to talk about the Bolt Nation.
Oh,
Uh,
please God, don't do that. That don't even sound right. Oh,
uh,
don't be disrespectful.
what is their little moniker? Bolt
Uh,
up. That's what it
Bolt
is.
up. There you go.
But they made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. And the big part of why we sit here and we ask for this year, what's the excuse? With Justin Herbert, played 16 games. He had a 66.4 completion percentage, over 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, the most touchdown passes since his second year in the league. He also added some groundwork, almost 500 yards and 83 carries, both career highs for him. And in his resume, no postseason wins. And so you might ask what the reason was for that last year. Well, this offensive line was pretty banged up. Joe Alt, he missed 11 games. Missed the last 11 games of the season. They had 60 sacks taken, and that offensive line ranked 29th as far as quarterback pressures and things like that. So, uh, Rashawn Slater, left tackle, he had missed all of 2025, and we'll get into uh, more of the offensive line as you share your thoughts on how the season went for them.
Yeah, man. It's been a. It's your question is what's the excuse for Justin Herbert? Um, it's always something. It's something with this organization. I know for him, he's had a different offensive coordinator each of his seasons in the NFL. So there's like no continuity from year one to year two to developing the system. But as we know, he's outplayed you know that to a good standard. He's been decent, a solid quarterback every year. I know you mentioned Joe Alt missed 11 games. Rashawn Slater tore his patellar tendon in camp last year around this very time, very exact moment. So, not having consistencies at both tackle spots and relying on backups that are below average, the average NFL starters. can affect your play. But everybody has Justin Herbert in the top 5, whatever, whatever. And if he can put his numbers back up there for me, uh, for a second, 16 games, 66 completion percentage, 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, averaging 232 yards per game. Um, that's any quarterback would take those numbers on a quote unquote bad year when for Justin Herbert, if people want to consider that a bad year. I think it's a mental thing with Herbert right now to get over that hump. So he's good in the postseason. Not good in the postseason, but good in the regular season when needs to be. But when the pressure cooker gets a little hot, a little warm for him, it tends to wither away a little bit. And hopefully he can, well, not for our sake, but hopefully for his sake, he can turn that around this postseason. But hopefully not though, for our sake once again.
As we talked about, Rashawn Slater playing 0 games and getting injured and around this time last year, they did draft Jake Slaughter, who we'll get into in a minute. Tyler Biotis was with the Commanders, 3.5 sacks allowed. Cole Strange came over from the Dolphins. This is on his third team now. 3.5 sacks allowed last year in 14 games. And Zion Johnson gave up 7 sacks. Jamari Sawyer and Austin Deculus.
Austin Deculus, you were right.
I had it
You were right.
right.
Yeah, you was there.
Okay.
Roll, baby.
Jamari Sawyer, who's on the Dolphins now, Deculus, who's on the Titans now, gave up a combined 12 sacks last season. Bradley Bozeman, 6.5. He's a free agent right now. Mekhi Becton, also a free agent, 5.5. And then Trey Pipkins, who's on the depth chart, 6 sacks. So, man, this is 60 sacks to give up 60 sacks. You kind of feel bad for Herbert because of where the media puts him at. Like think about it, for yourself. Each year they're putting him up here like he's one of these top 5 quarterbacks. And during the season, up and down, but a little more trending toward up. A lot of potential there. I think there's the golden boy kind of features that kind of is the reason for that. And then when it gets to the postseason, we saw against the Jaguars. I mean, they were up 27, but they lost the game against Houston a couple years ago when he was tossing 4 interceptions. And then to last year where he just played terrible against New England. I thought maybe they would have had a chance in that game, but I mean, you already know how that went. So what changes now? You got Mike McDaniel coming over as the offensive coordinator, who was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins last year. And now he's trying to rewrite his story. So by him coming over as offensive coordinator, what are you expecting from him? Because, they're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to depend on the running game. We'll get to the running backs in a few. But will this help Herbert get the ball out quicker, making better decisions? What do you take from the Mike McDaniel hiring offensive coordinator?
I mean, we all, because I'm not gonna bring it up, but we know what Mike McDaniel can do as an offensive coordinator. I'm not even gonna bring it up, but you know where I'm going. But we know what he's capable of when he had Tua.
That was terrible.
Yeah, when he had Tua at his peak a couple years ago, on time, anticipation, making throws into windows. He use a lot of orbit motion to distract you, but he's going to run the football, and I expect the Chargers to be a run first football team as John Harbaugh envisioned, coming from Michigan a few years ago. So I expect Mike McDaniel to get a little cute, get a little sexy, put up some points, but also, hey, he's going to run the ball and take his shots, with Herbert and Quentin Johnson and McConkey when needed. So I expect a look, not fireworks, but I expect them to be more efficient than they have been in the past for sure.
Speaking of the running backs, not household names just yet, especially for Amari Hampton, who was drafted last year, but Kamani Vidal led the team in rushing yards, 643 off 155 carries, 4.1 per, and 10 games started. He played 13. Amari Hampton, who was injured for most part of the season, 9 games. He started 6, 545 yards off 124 carries, 4.4 per. and he did some work in the air as well with 192 yards in the pass game. Uh, like I said, not household and sexy names just yet, but Vidal, who is a dog. I've known him doing some work against Denver and kind of embarrassing us, or having some good games, not just against us, but against different teams too. Just seeing this body of work, like he's a threat. Um, Especially if they're all healthy and things like that. You know how dangerous they can be. And then Hampton, which I think will have a better second season, assuming that he stays healthy. They did bring some other guys over there as far as in the running back group that we'll talk about in a few as far as our key additions. But these two right here, how important are these two in the running game, and do you think they fit well in McDaniel's system and how he trying to brew things up?
I'm pretty sure they, last year I was a little disappointed in Amari and Hampton being the 22nd overall pick or something, whatever the number was. I was a little disappointed. I know he, like you said, he dealt with injuries in the early on in the season, and he felt like he could just never get his footing. He showed flashes here and there throughout the season, definitely for sure. But like you said about Kamani Vidal, he made plays when his opportunities were given to him, and I expect him to uh, keep playing a role in his backfield. And I think Mike McDaniel will get the best out of these two. I expect a better year two from Amari at Hampton, and see what Kamani Vidal can do in this system as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Larry. I could be wrong. Didn't they sign Najee Harris last year too, and he got hurt, or was that somebody else?
That was
Did yeah, and it just
not
didn't
at all.
pan out for them.
In fact, while I'm right here, Najee Harris, uh, he just 15 carries for 61 yards. He only played three.
Yeah, he
He
was
only played
dealing
three.
with injuries and
What?
stuff like that.
What?
Yep,
Wow. What a waste of a signing there. And I mean, when Najee Harris came out, I'm like, man, this guy
he was the
might do.
one you thought. When Najee came out, you was like, okay, is this not saying he 2.0 Derrick Henry, but this could be
I
a
expected better.
yes. That's all I'm gonna say.
As far as the pass game, Keenan Allen, who was a big figure for them, as he's been for most of his career in LA. I know he went to Chicago for that 1 year, but came back, had 777 yards on 81 catches. He's going to be a key departure, assuming that maybe they do bring him back. Maybe they stay young the way that they are. Lamb McConkey, a big figure for them, 106 targets, 66 catches, 789 on the yards. He's always a big threat. He had 6 tutties as well. Quentin Johnson going into year 4. In year 3, he had 84, 51, and 735 and 8 touchdowns. I believe he led the team with passing touchdowns. Trey Harris going into year 2. Uh, he played he played a smidge in the role of the offense, but Aronde Gaston,
Your guy.
my guy, Rondé Gasson going into what will be his year 2 now, 69, 49, and 664. You can see it on the screen right there, and 3 touchdowns. When during the whole draft process, I know you didn't expect to see this out of Rondé Gasson going into his rookie season. And it's
Nah,
not like, I mean, it's not like he actually like peak, but he showed what he could do going forward as far as being a tight end and potentially being an elite tight end going forward.
yeah, man, I didn't expect to see what I saw Aronde Gaston being a contributor to this offense as a rookie. But if you can pull that graphic up for me one more time, I was a little shocked by McConkey's numbers. I thought he had better numbers than that. 106 targets and 66 receptions. Thought he had a little more than that. And then Quentin Johnston, he may not have the receiving yards, but he definitely was a red zone threat every time he stepped on the field. So glad to
Absolutely,
see glad to see that he was able to shake the what you want to call it, the drawing a blank right there, the old adage of hey, I can't catch and I'm dropping balls, and he had butterfingers, as you want to say. And Trey Harris coming as a rookie, I was big on Trey Harris last year coming out of Ole Miss. He went the second round. You'll see a better year too with him in the NFL this year. And yeah, man, this is a big year for Quinn Johnson. He could be looking for a bag. I'm not sure if he can get it in LA with the Chargers, or he could be a free agent next year and test the open market. But what they got right here, it's something you can work with. And then all thing you can do is build off this room, and you add Omarion and Kamani Vital, and you potentially have some dangerous on your hand that could potentially take you further than what you made it last year. So there's a nice little room for them with more consistency from everybody. Well, and Mike McDaniel's offense, we know what he did for. Not saying I'm not comparing none of these guys at all, but you know what he did for Tyreek. You know what he did for Jalen Water when he was there. John O. Smith was in this offense as well. So, when you give Herbert playmakers and they're consistent, you'll see something happen for sure.
Keandre Lambert Smith was drafted last year. I forgot where, but he's another weapon that could go into the season, as one of those watch guys. What did he have? He only had 12 targets, 12, 5, and 51 in a touchdown. So,
Hmm.
he wasn't used that much. He definitely should be used a lot more often going forward. Key additions, key departures. Dalvin Tomlinson. You get a fullback in Alec Ingold to help in the run game. Ingold came over from Miami, I believe. Uh, Cole Strange, Charlie Kolar, who could be a nice tight end threat. Keaton Mitchell, you add to the running backfield. You see the key departures over there, quite a few. Most of the offensive line, you get a Will Disley who's gone. Keenan Allen still, as we said, kind of on the wing, could come back. Who knows? You lose Deshaun Hand, but then you bring in Dalvin Tomlinson, who's a aging defensive tackle, but still can provide some things for you as far as defensive front. Who on the key departures do you think the Chargers could suffer a little bit from losing, and which key addition do you think they could benefit the most from?
Um, I really like for the key additions. I really like Keaton Mitchell because you remember him from Baltimore. He tore his ACL maybe
Yeah.
his rookie year, and then he came back his second year. It was so explosive, so dynamic. He could help you in the kick return game, be a third down back, receiving back. So he has a whole lot of juice, barring a clean bill of health, which I think he is right now. And then for your key departures, Dafe Owe, I think he
Mm.
ended up going to the Commanders, signing $100 million deal if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. So that could be a huge. He had a huge second half of the season last year with like 8 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's one key departure that may come back to bite them a little bit. But hey, get your money. And I'm looking at any other key departure. Maybe I would have kept Zion Johnson over Cole Strange, but they know more than I do. Not to say Cole Strange is a bad player, but we all know where he got drafted at and what his production in the league has been the last past couple of years is not met the expectation of it, everybody around the league. So I would say key addition, Keaton Mitchell, and key, departures, probably Dafe Owe. That's because of the pass rush juice he gave you down the stretch heading into the playoff last year that ultimately took them over the top to, getting to New England before ultimately losing 16-3 in the divisional round.
Uh, so when we talk about on the key departures now on the draft picks, you get some additions, and you see right there at the top who they feel real good about. Akeem Mesidor
Hmm.
coming out of Miami, took him 22 in the first round. He took Jake Slaughter, who could start in the second. You took Brennan Thompson in the fourth, who could be sneaky, very sneaky. I know you watched the film on him. Good receiving threat, but you can also use him a multitude of different ways. You get some offensive line depth with Travis Burke out of Memphis, a safety out of Genesis Smith in the fourth, Nick Barrett out of South Carolina in the fifth, Logan Taylor, and Alex Harkey, both in the 6 rounds to help with the offensive line depth, considering 60 sacks. that you gave up. You need as much as you can. So, which I think I already know where you're going. But what draft pick will kind of benefit or that you're looking out for more? I kind of already feel it's going to be number one, right?
Yeah, Akeem, you can say Akeem Mesidor for me because he can come in. He's an older prospect, 24 years old, 25 years old. And by the way, Larry, you can put me back on camera for this one before we put the draft picks back up there. I do not understand. Maybe it's just me, and you can, answer this question as well. When does 24, 25 years old become an old player in the league? Like that is insane. Yes, I know he's an older prospect, but the draft community drafts like that's an old player. Bro, he's still like 25, 26. What are we doing? I get it from a contractual viewpoint perspective. Okay, yeah, when he get on the second contract, he'll be 28. Do you want to extend him? Do you want to give him a second contract? I get that. But if he's old and he's come in, like Akeem Mesidor is right now, come in in a win now mode, that's a good addition in my opinion. And if you can pull that, well, go ahead. I'm gonna get you to answer the question first. Do you think that's considered quote unquote old by him being
I,
25 coming into the league as a rookie?
I don't consider it old. I can see why they call it old. Man, it's storming out there. But I can
Hmm.
see why they call it old because as you alluded to, by the time you get to your second contract, you're 28. Okay, if you're 20, what 24, 25, I mean, most draft picks are what 21, 20, 21, 22 around age. I mean, it's no more than maybe 2 or 3 years older. But I can see where, because as you always talk about, NFL not for long, and those years stack up. So I can see why they say too old, but at the same time, like if because their bodies are already getting beat up in college anyway.
All right.
Uh, and so when you get to the NFL, it's like it's kind of hitting the reset, but you still took a lot of punishment just playing that game. Think about it from high school, college. So I can see why they say that, but I don't think it's too old. You know for yourself, Garrett Bowles was drafted when he was 24, 25.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's still playing at a high level right now. So it all depends on the player to me, but I don't think it's too old.
Yeah, and then this is the thing, like this is the era of NIL too. They're taking that money and going back to school. So you telling me I can pocket $2 million as a 23, 24 year old college player, then go out? Who says I'm guaranteed to get that $60 million contract or that second contract in general? So, the era of NIL is playing a huge role. But yeah, I just want to ask that question before we moved on. So you good, brother.
All right. Did you have another? You had something else?
Oh yeah. King Mesidor, and I knew you think I was gonna go Mesidor. That was one, but he wasn't my main one. I was going Jake Slaughter as well from the University of Florida because they need consistency across this offensive line. They need a healthy offensive line, and I think Jake Slaughter having position versatility. I think he plays some tackle, some guard, and some center, but they got to play as a center here, and I think that'll be huge for them this upcoming season, just in case a knock on wood a Slater or a Joe Alt go down again. They have the flexibility with Tyler. I think Tyler Biadasz is there as well with Jake Slaughter to move him up and down the line if needed to. So I think those two draft picks right there, especially the Jake Slaughter pick at 63 was a huge need. And I actually do like the pick only because of the quote unquote injury risk or health questions that you have but for Alt and Slater, and we hope that they can stay healthy for a full 17 games to see the best version of this Mike McDaniel offense.
Yeah, Akeem Mesidor for me, and I'll point to Genesis Smith on the back end because with what's my safety name, Derwin James.
Derwin,
Derwin James again another year in the league, getting older. Not saying that he's going to eclipse him now, but I mean you're thinking about the future. So Akeem Mesidor for me, um, with Khalil Mack being there, they bought him back for another year. I don't know if his contract was up, but it might not have been up. But they,
yeah, he was a free agent. They bought him back.
Do you know the years, or just was it 1 year?
I think it was a 1 year deal. I want to say,
I know it was a lot of money.
yeah. Oh, you know it.
But Akeem Mesidor coming over there now next year, he could be. We could be talking about him next year when we're doing this. Being one of those players to look out for after having a pretty good freshman season. Um, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say,
Mac signed a 1 year 18, fully guaranteed. So
so he's banking on this season for that, and Akeem Mesidor can learn from him as Khalil Mack, one of the best pass rushers to ever come through the NFL. So you get what a way to learn under one of the best, and then to continue the rest of your career. Tearing the league up on the defensive side of the ball. The defense, 20 points a game allowed. They were ninth
mm,
yards per game. This defense, they were top five as far as numbers. They were a pretty damn good defense, and that's what concerns me about it this year. Maybe they could do it. If they could just get that one side of the ball right consistently, and that defense playing the way they do, who knows? But yards per game, they were fifth. Third downs, they were fifth. Red zone, they were fourth. They had 23 takeaways, and that was tied for seventh. Um, they had a 75 rating as far as pass defense, allowed just under 180 yards per game, which was fifth. Completion percentage, fifth. Yards per attempt, eighth.
shut down, boy.
And as I said, with the rating, they were first. So, and then, with guys, Derwin James going into his ninth year, we had 94 tackles. He's still making plays, three interceptions. He had a 53.4 rating allowed with no touchdowns. It seems like we're far removed. Remember when Derwin James wasn't healthy like that going into every year? He was kind of like often injured. Did you see Derwin James still playing at a high level at this career, at this point in his career?
Yeah, man. He's a dog, man. From a first round pick, fell into the teens. Shouldn't have fell into the teens. I was so mad we passed up on him in 2018. But we drafted Colton Miller instead. So hey, it's a win-win for everybody there. Yeah, Derwin James is, for him to be playing at this high of a level right now at his age 31. I'm not sure how old he is now. I'm not surprised at all. He just got another bag too, by the
30.
way. 30. He just got another bag too. So, he's probably been, you know, when you think about safeties in the league, he's what, one, two, no more than three.
Definitely top
Uh,
five.
top three. I don't know. I don't know if you can name two safeties better than him. Um, you can say Cal Hamilton maybe. Uh,
Um,
you can say Cal Hamilton. Only two I can think of right now better than him is Cal Hamilton and Jesse Bates. Well, not better than him, but in that
in the same circle.
right. Cal
Yeah.
Hamilton, Jesse Bates, maybe. Um, yeah, that's it, bro. I can't think of anybody else that you would like fear, you know,
Mhm.
back
Yeah,
there.
I know
So
it's one of Detroit's guys, but they kind of
oh,
injured.
Kirby Joseph maybe. It
Yeah,
may be
man.
Kirby. Oh, and
Brian
Brian
Branch.
Branch right there. They are right there. But when you think about the creme de la creme of safeties, you think about Jesse Bates and Derwin James for my money. Those two. So yeah, man. I don't think his play is going to slow down anytime soon. The only thing that's going to slow him down is, like we said in the past, is injuries itself, and hopefully that it's not the case.
Uh, so when he came in the league in 2018, he played 16 games, and then he played 5 games in 2019. 2020, he didn't play at all because he was on injury reserve with the knee. 21, he played 15 games. 22, he played 14, I think. And since then, 23, 24, 25, he's played 16 games. So something must have done got right over there.
Absolutely.
Tarheeb still going into year three. He had no touchdowns allowed. He had a over 76 rate as well. 6 PDs. Dante Jackson going into year 9.
Yeah,
You
I
see,
remember him coming out of LSU, boy. Whoo, he been in the game for a minute.
yeah, he had 12 PDs and he had 4 touchdowns allowed, but he's still pretty solid. It's a
Yeah.
corner. It's a cornerback. It's a solid cornerback that I would like on my team because he definitely gives the effort. Cam Hart, who had 11 PDs, he had a 108.6 rate, and so I mean it's not his best year, but he's young, he's hungry. Elijah Molden going into year 6. Tony Jefferson still playing in year 12, and
Tony
he had
Jefferson balling, boy. For to be a vet, he balling. He getting it in.
absolutely for him to still be playing. He played 13 games. He had 4 interceptions, so he's still balling. The pass rush, 45 sacks,
Mm.
tied for 10. Tied for 10. Oh, his I was talking about the secondary right there. And then with the pass rush, uh you had
JTT.
yeah, man.
He ran it.
Yeah, Tolu Pelotu. How Tua Pelotu.
JT to a Pelotu.
I forgot they call him JT. I forgot all about that. That's why I was like, what is he talking about? But yeah, because he went to Ohio State.
Correct.
Yeah, so 49 tackles, a career high, and 13 sacks. I want to say he had 8 last year. The year before, 23 quarterback hits, 20 TFLs. You still got Khalil Mack over there making plays, and then Justin Ebagui.
Yep. There you go.
Emo, yeah. But he had 6 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and 7 TFLs. And then you add Akeem Messidor. How efficient do you see this pass rush going into this year? I think it's going to be quite dangerous.
It's gonna be quite dangerous, bro. JTT coming to his own. Khalil Mack's been a steady All Pro, even back to his Raider days. The only player in NFL history to make the All Pro team in 2 different spots. He still has a lot left in year 13, and you got JT Tuipulotu uh, becoming that 1A 1B. I would love to see them keep Odafe Owe, but I don't know how the money would have worked out. That would have been super duper dangerous. And then you drop in Akeem Mesidor to
Mm-hmm.
this group. Yeah, it can get scary. It could get scary out there in the AFC West for opposing offensive lines, though. But yeah, man, I'm interested to see what this group do this year with the Asian Khalil Mack and who can step up and take some of that pressure off Khalil Mack because he still can in year 13 he can still give you 4 sack games because we seen it last year where he just went crazy
Yeah,
versus the Raiders. He gave you 4 sack games in the first half. You like, bro, is this year 2 or year 13 for this man? But I got
yeah,
that experience firsthand. When I got the best version of Khalil Mack before John Gruden started to piss me off. But we'll get to them when we get to them tomorrow. Yeah, man, it's good to see this team with good pass rushers and let's see if they can add on that 45. What is it? 45 sacks? 45 sacks?
45
Let's
sacks.
see if they get in that 55, 60 range like we talked about the Rams. I don't know if they can get that far with that deep of a bag of pass rushers, but the potential is there.
Very well capable if they're healthy. Um, Also, don't forget about Dan Hanley over there, who's
Dayon
got
Henley,
that. Yeah,
young linebackers, very instinctive, good coverage linebacker, can tackle. Yeah, I like him. That's a dog over there they got as well.
I wonder when was he drafted.
It's like maybe 2-3 years ago out of Washington State, something like that. I think it was like two
Uh,
or 3 years ago.
yeah, Nevada, Washington
Just
State,
yeah,
it was
okay,
third round. That's what
yeah,
I was looking for. So yeah, you still got him over there making plays. What is he? What does he had? He's got 2 straight years of 100 plus tackles. Uh, so that's another
certified dog.
certified dog over there. Let's get into the schedule real quick. Week 1, you got the Cardinals, and then you got the Raiders. So that's 2-0 right there.
Well, that's
I ain't gonna say that just yet. Cardinals, yeah, Cardinals, but then the Raiders, I don't know. They that's a division matchup, so who knows what can happen there. But you know me, I'm going for the win right there for them. Then you
of
got
course.
two back to back road games at the Bills, then at the Seahawks. So you go on one side of the country, then you go to the other
Boy,
side.
they're gonna be two hot L's, boy. Two hot L's.
You get
Woo.
the Broncos in week 5.
I think that's a W though, for real. And I ain't even trolling. Cause yeah, that's a W. For the
I,
Broncos. For the Broncos, sorry.
I'm just gonna say I feel like you're not lying. You're not lying because we always split with them, and since the game is over there in SoFi, I can see us dropping that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then
It's ugly when y'all play. When I gotta watch the Broncos and Chargers play, it's like watching paint dry sometimes. It was like, ugh.
man, imagine me watching y'all every week. Uh,
Turn the satellite off. Jeez.
at the Chiefs in week 6, you hit a bye week, and then you at the Rams, Texans, Ravens. Then you get the Jets. Those 3 games right there. We got the Rams, the Texans, 2 defenses. Oh, then you got the Baltimore, and you got to go to the East Coast. You got the Jets, the Patriots. On Sunday night, you got the Buccaneers. You got the Raiders again. The 49ers on a Thursday night, and then you finish up at the Dolphins, Chiefs, and then at Broncos.
Mm.
How many wins do you see this team having?
One, two. Hold up. One. Let me be respectful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I say 10. I think they're gonna split with the Broncos, split with the Chiefs, beat the Dolphins, beat the 49ers, split with the Raiders, beat the Bucks, lose to the Patriots, beat the Jets, beat the Ravens, lose to the Texans and Rams, beat the Cardinals, lose to the Bills. You do the math. I think I see about 9-10. I wouldn't be mad at 9-10. I'm not banging no more than that though. I'm not banging no more than 10.
Could be 11.
Oh, you hating that.
Could be an 11, 12 win team. Never know, man.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I just from the schedule right here, I don't see that many primetime games. So you got 3 this year, which they'll last year they had four or five last year. 4. I think
Yeah.
they had 4 last year. So I mean, the league a little lower on them as a unit though, but I expect them to be right there in the playoff hunt again, wild card. And then, hey, hopefully, Justin Herbert can shake them demons off. Because if he do it again this year, there definitely going to be some people asking, hey, is he the guy long term?
And I mean he is in his second contract, correct? So maybe this guy can help him get there. 2 years as the Chargers head coach, 22-12. He does improve teams, as you know. Um, leading your college team to a cheated championship. But
It ain't trying if you ain't cheating, boy. Remember that.
leading the 49ers to a Super Bowl, and then as I said, Michigan to a national championship after I don't know how many tries, but he got them there.
Hey,
And
listen, bro, listen. Just take one, or take his one season.
this could be the season for them. Getting a pass rush, your secondary already kind of playing pretty good. All you
Well, I
gotta do is
hope
play
not. For
off.
our sake, I hope not.
But yeah, for our sake, I hope not either. But
Well, and me saying the Chargers in the Super Bowl, they never went to the Super Bowl for let alone win one. It'll be an all time catastrophe for me if that was to happen. That'll be some insane stuff.
since 94, 95, then they win when they played San Francisco.
Yeah, they did. They got blown off the field. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Oh, that was bad. Uh,
Like, everybody got blown off the field by San Francisco back in the 90s. So, ain't no shame, boy.
any last things you got before we get out of here for the Chargers? Any last words?
No, I don't have any last words. I just want to see the media kind of like pipe down on Justin Herbert a little bit, being
Hey,
this top 5, top 10, whatever, darling. He's in there with the Mahomes, the Burrows, the Lamars. He's not there yet because they have deep playoff run proof to show for that, if that makes sense. So Other than that, man, I just hope everybody stay healthy, the tackles stay healthy, and we get the best version of a Mike McDaniel's offense. And he's gonna have fireworks and he's gonna have some stuff up his sleeve, with Mario Hampton and Kamal Vidal. We know he did with A-Chain when he was there, and Raheem Mostert when he was there. He did some good things with them. So we'll see.
Yeah, I want to see how Justin Herbert responds this season with the pass catchers that he has. Um, is Keandre Lambert Smith, is he gonna take another step up? How do you use Brendan Thompson that you drafted? Will he be used more of a special teamer? Will he have some snaps in the offense where you can do little tricks and trades with him? And how well can this defensive front? How well they're going to be playing? Because you got some dogs over there with Talopu and Khalil Mack and then Messidor and their secondary. I think this is going to be a very dangerous team. Will they eclipse what they've done? Who that remains to be seen. But if they do, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be only because history repeats itself, and until you do it, you gotta show them.
If Mike McDaniel does well this season and has his offense very potent, I believe he's going to be in line for another head coaching job.
Ain't no if he ain't no believe he is. Trust me, he gonna be somebody. He gonna be somebody head coach in 2027. So
Definitely. Well, for Amon, I'm Larry. This has been the Chargers edition of 32 and 32. We got the last place team. That will be the last place team this year as well. We got the Raiders coming up tomorrow. No, we don't. No, we don't. We got the Chiefs. I'm ahead of myself. I apologize.
see. Oh, I can't wait to the Raiders episode. Oh boy, I can't wait.
We got the Chiefs. We got the Chiefs tomorrow. We'll still talk some ish about them. So everybody, y'all have a great night out there, and be safe.